So my name don't exist. So many names don't exist. Then in Inglewood, and the trauma came with the rent. Only worldly possession I have is life. Only room that I died in was 25. What's an eye for an eye when niggas won't love you back? And medicine's over text. No name look like you. No name for private corporations.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Music Mondays.
Music Mondays. Music Mondays. Oh, that's how we should write a jingle.
Yeah.
After,
It
like,
is
months and months.
episode 16.
16.
Oh, sweet 16.
We can drive now.
This podcast cannot drive itself. It's a shit show.
Every week we get progressively
Worse.
we need more help. More
Yeah.
and more help.
Yeah.
That's okay. You guys still come back.
Yeah. About 20 of you come back
Yeah,
every week.
it's like my mom and your mom.
Yeah.
Like a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, moms.
You moms,
Oh,
you
man.
moms rock.
So this week we have an exciting artist, NoName,
No name.
and her new album, Room 25.
That's the room.
So I'll talk a little bit about NoName, and you can
I will
interject.
chime in because this was Taylor's pick. So I'm gonna let her. I never heard of her before now, as you know, most things. I'm very disconnected from the world. So yeah, teach me.
So
Give me learn.
NoName is a underground Chicago rapper / poet. She first gained attention from a feature on Chance the Rapper's Acid Rap mixtape because her and Chance are actually longtime friends.
Cool.
They met at a creative center where they both learned how to write poetry, and they've been friends for a while, and then they both kind of blew up a little bit. So he put her on his album or his mixtape, and
It's cool.
now they're both. And what's cool about both of them is they're not signed with a label, so everything that they do is self-released.
The industry can shove it.
Yep, basically. Yeah. And so both of her albums, this is her second studio album, both of her albums have been self-released, and both of them have had really good reception from the public, which is really cool considering that she's not signed by a label, so she doesn't have that advertising budget, and then she's just has to basically be good enough to get it speaks a lot for her talent that
Yeah.
she can do this on her own.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like this is a sidebar. I feel that that's kind of becoming a new thing for artists to do, is to make their own label for themselves and do it. And I really admire that. And I know that not everybody has the ability to do that, but if you do it.
Yeah.
That was a piece of advice that I got. And then he's don't wait for people to sign you to something. Just go and do it.
Your music, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why SoundCloud is such a big thing now, because
Yeah.
especially with artists, there was that last year or the year before that SoundCloud was yeah, we might go away, and Chance and a bunch of other self-released artists were no, you can't go away. We need you as a
as
medium
a
to
platform.
release it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So even though I'm not much of a SoundCloud rapper kind of gal,
I mean, it's a really, really good outlet
yeah.
for that. I mean,
It
we
is.
put this on SoundCloud, not it gets a ton of traction on there, but
Yeah.
there are a lot more SoundCloud users than you would think, because it is
Yeah.
free. So
Yeah.
I mean, you can get the better version of it, but it's like Spotify. It's it's free.
Yeah. I would probably use SoundCloud more if the user experience was better. The UX on that is just garbage. But that's my own pickiness with
Yeah.
technology.
No, I mean,
so.
I don't actually like the way SoundCloud is set up and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, for what it is, it's really cool. And I mean, look at Chance.
Yeah.
That's where we started.
Yeah, start with Chance, and then NoName has 1,260,000 plus monthly listeners, which is insane for not being backed by a label.
Yeah.
So, and I think it has a lot to do with the features that she does, because she features on a lot of other people's albums, and then a lot of people feature on hers as well. She's worked with Saba, Smino, Mick Jenkins, Kirk Knight, Chance, obviously. There's also, what is the name of, there's a woman that she works with.
That's my ASMR of me drinking my coffee. Sorry, everyone.
She works with
Hi.
Raven Lene, who I love. Reality Check off of Telephone is a really good song with Akenya and Aaron Allen Kane. It's just really, those people have really powerful voices. That's another thing. She doesn't choose people that are just like there on her album. Like, she picks people with power behind them. So like Ace has Smino and Saba on it, which is, I know you don't listen to rap, but both of those people have really, really powerful music.
Yeah. Well, and that's cool too. She's not just picking people because like that's who's in the eye right now. Like, I feel like that's like, not saying that people in the eye right now aren't like talented, but I feel like people are like, oh, well, I'm really popular right now and you're really popular right now, so we're gonna collab, not because we really want to, but because it would get a lot of views. And I feel like that's kind of the mindset of some of these things. And like, I'm not trying to say that they're bad or anything. It's just like,
well, an example of that being bad is Nicki Minaj collabing with Tekashi 6ix9ine.
yeah, that is
Like,
bad. That one's bad.
She knows better than to collab with that guy. Like, he's a pedophile.
Yeah.
But she knows that he's popular right now, so that song was going to get a lot of traction.
Yeah.
Which
and
was
she probably
bad.
also knew that, like, oh, people are going to be mad about this, and that means, and this sounds really terrible, but all publicity is
Good
publicity.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's, you know, people may be talking bad about you, but they're still talking, which is an unfortunate mindset to be in because, but
she's already controversial before she did that, so adding that to her
not good. And then her and Cardi B just
repertoire
like,
of controvery wasn't that big of a deal for her.
Yeah.
So.
But anyway.
Yeah, that was actually a really good conversation. Go us.
Yeah. Look at us talking about things that aren't garbage.
It's really good.
Oh, God.
So, the reason behind her being NoName is I found this quote from her. She said, "I try to exist without binding myself to labels. I'm not really into labels at all, even in the way that I dress. I usually don't wear anything with a name brand. For me, not having a name expands my creativity. I'm able to do anything. NoName could potentially be a nurse. NoName could be a screenwriter. I'm not limited to any one category of art or other existence on a more existential level." Which just shows you that she's really fucking cool. Like,
yeah, all right. Okay.
Yeah.
You do you, man. I'm Leah. I'm confined to trying my best. So,
yeah.
that's cool, though. I like that. And I like that she's not... I love an artist who is doing music because that's what they're meant to do, and like that's what they love, and she's just being an artist. She's not like obsessed with celebrity and fame and all this kind of stuff, and I love that.
Yeah.
Be humble, you guys. Stay humble out there. So many of you are not.
Yeah. And she it shows that she's really humble because in some of her songs, especially on Telephone, there's a couple of lyrics about Kanye, and like she's tight with Kanye because of Chance. Chance and Kanye are tight, but like she's not using Kanye to climb.
Yeah.
Like, and she easily could, and Kanye would let her because he supports smaller artists as well. But she's like, no, I want to do this on my own.
Yeah. She's a bad bitch.
The lyric is that Kanye will be at her funeral, which is that's a really good song. I forget which one it's on, but it's a good song. All of her songs are good, let's be honest. This album's a lot more political than her first album. Telephone was an important reflection of real-life telephone conversations that she's had throughout her life. But this album is more of a coming-of-age story and recognizing who she is as a black woman, what that means for her, what it means for her career, what it meant in her childhood. Like, it's a really interesting album, especially if you dissect the lyrics.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
but-
Yeah. I didn't do the research on this, so I'm like...
You're like, yeah, it's great. Yeah. Let's talk about your fave.
Okay, well, my favorite was NoName.
Mm-hmm.
It's got that opening little bass solo. That shit slaps, man. Good.
Slap.
And I also, I mean, I was a little late at getting around to this album this week because it's just been one of those weeks for me. But it's so lyrically, I don't have anything too deep to say about anything, but it's just self-titled, just who she is, and it's just good, and it was just one of those pleasing things. And I guess I could go ahead and get into like just what I like about the actual album, just kind of as a continuation.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I really, really love spoken word. There's actually another sidebar. That's, this is just Leah's sidebar corner. If you don't know, there's this poet, Denise Froman. I think it's Froman. My sister found her. She's a spoken word artist. She came here, actually. I saw her. I met her. So she's super cool. This little tiny Puerto Rican lesbian woman who is just the most badass person I've ever seen in my life. And this reminds me of her in a little bit of a way, because she's using her art to do bigger things than just be creative. And like, while like expressing your creativity is important, use your voice. If you have one, you need to use it. And like, that's just kind of what this album reminds me of, and I really appreciate it for that. And using spoken word, like I know that like rap is poetry, but spoken word is different, and the way that she delivers this album is just like, it's really cool. And it's just really cool how she integrated those two mediums, I think. So, also, sidebar, go listen to anything Denise Froman does, because she rocks. The end. I didn't mean to go off on another tangent about somebody else, but I just like wanted to relate it to her, because like, just like two really badass women just doing badass things, and it's cool.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely. I'm trying to find. There's a lyric in here somewhere, and I'm trying to find it. I can't remember which song it's on, because a lot of these songs do sound similar, just because of her spoken word.
Yeah.
Cadence of that.
I know, and it's hard for me to like keep which song is which straight, because when you just listen to the album, it's just like one big long song, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but like when you do have spoken word, it's there's not like really different chord progressions because you're not singing, so it's like, where did that come from? But all good things.
Yeah.
All good things.
All good things about this album. So I can't find it right now, but there's a few other lyrics that I want to talk about in here.
I was like, are these the ones that you put in here?
So my favorite song on the album is Blaxploitation, because it is the most political song on the album, and I think it's a really important song. But the lyric that stuck out to me in that song was, maybe I'm a hypocrite, maybe I'm a hypochondriac, I'm struggling to simmer down, maybe I'm an insomni black. And I was on Genius, Rap Genius, and I guess it's no longer Rap Genius anymore. But
is it just Music Genius now?
It's just
Lyric Genius,
Genius now.
Oh.
So maybe I'm an insomni black. What someone dissected from it is that the current state of American politics and government disturbs her and keeps her up at night. And the lyric after Insomnia Black is bad sleep triggered by bad government. And something to add to that is the common saying of being woke. So staying woke is often with politics. So not only is the current state of our government keeping her up at night, but she also has to stay woke in order to stay in front of it.
Yeah.
So there's like a lot of levels to all of the lyrics in these songs,
which is cool. Like, you could listen to this album 100 times and probably not pick up on everything. Like, you have to, like, you can't just listen through it. You have to like listen down through it.
Yes.
Which is, if you're listening on audio, I did a hand motion. I'm not going to explain it, but that's what I did.
Yeah. She and then another lyric that I wanted to dissect a little bit was from Don't Forget About Me, and it's, your mama at the table crying, all her hair gone, feeling fishy, finding chemo, smoking seaweed for calm, these Disney movies too close. Yeah. A play on Finding, this is what somebody had said, a play on Finding Nemo, an animated Disney movie where the fish Nemo's lost, trying to find his way home to the ocean. This goes really deep. So the name Nemo comes from the fictional mysterious submarine Captain Nemo in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Furthermore, the name Nemo relates to the name NoName. Nemo is, moreover, the Latin rendering of ancient Greek Otis, nobody, the pseudonym adopted by Odysseus in Greek mythology, a ruse employed to outwit the Cyclops Polyphemus. This appears to be the intended meaning, since the mysterious island, when addressed by Cyrus Harding as Captain Nemo, he replies, "I have no name." So not only is she talking about like a family member being ill, being on chemo, losing her hair, but she's also relating it back to her having no name and like another reason behind that.
And like casually referencing like Greek mythology.
Yeah, like
as one does.
Yeah.
You know.
And it goes on to say, you titled the email, "No Name, thank you for your sweet telephone. It saves lives. The secret is I'm actually broken. I tried to raise a healing kneeling at the edge of the ocean." So it goes deeper and deeper as the lyric goes on. It's just...
So just go listen to it and try your best. Because you're not going to pick up on all of it, but like try your best.
She's insanely talented.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, I couldn't rave about her enough, I don't think.
Yeah, super good. I saw, you probably liked the tweet, and it popped up, but it was like, people were like, why does she rap so quietly? And I don't remember what she said. She's like, it's a rap lullaby, bitch.
Yeah.
And I literally told Taylor on the way here today, I was like, it was harder for me to like really listen to this album when I was like trying to be productive because it made me so soothed and so sleepy. And I'm already so tired. So it's like, I was just like,
yeah.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm. It's really, really a really beautiful album.
You talking about the deep meaning of her lyrics. Me made me sleepy. God, I was doing
really
so well
funny.
up until that point.
That's okay. You can feel whatever you want to feel about it.
I mean, like the week that I had to listen to this album was not enough time for me to pick up on that. So like, whatever. But
I could listen to this album a million times and never fully absorb everything. So the fact that people have found this stuff out in just the week that it's been out is amazing to me.
I know. I wish that I could like, what am I trying to convey here? Like, see such, I mean, like, there are some things, I'm not saying I can't pick up any deep meaning in anything at all, but it's just like, I would have never. Like, there are just some people that can, one, she can write like that. Yeah. Two, people can pick up on that. And I'm like, how in the world? Like, that just takes so much practice. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, I found the lyric that I wanted to talk about. In Self, the first track on the album, in the second verse, she says, "My pussy teach in 9th grade English. My pussy wrote a thesis on colonialism." And it's basically, so she talked about this in an interview. She said, "Telephone was a very PG record because I was PG. She hadn't had sex yet. She could have fabricated it and made a record that was like, hell yeah, I love dick." But she just didn't know how to do that because she was a virgin. And she's quoted saying, "I say pussy like 1,000 times on the album." And I was just like, okay, now that my pussy is in this character, like it's a character that's in this book. She calls her albums like her books, which is cool. How do I color that story in? And then she says, she raps in a whisper that, like her, grows more confident. So she says, "Fuck the rapper homie, now his ass is making better music. My pussy teaches 9th grade English. My pussy wrote a thesis on colonialism." So, like, her having sex with a guy made him smarter is basically what she's saying. And now that guy is making better music because of her.
Yes, bitch.
And she's giving all the credit to her pussy.
Yes, bitch.
And I'm like,
I'm proud of you.
yeah. So I don't know if I did a really good job of like reading through it. There was like 4 paragraphs there. I just kind of skimmed through, but that was a real good lyric. I liked it a lot.
She good.
Yeah.
She real good.
So, for sure.
We love her. We stan.
So we have something exciting. Pitchfork. Named this album Best New Music. It received an 8.6.
Yeah.
And I almost shed a tear.
Literally last night, Chris was talking to me. He's like, all of a sudden you guys like Pitchfork? And I'm like, we like Pitchfork when they say good things.
Yeah, when they agree with us, we like them, yeah.
Exactly.
That's how it works.
Because if the internet doesn't agree with you, you know what, I'm not going to go there.
But it was quoted in the Pitchfork album, or I quoted it from there. Her flows are less breakneck spitter and more delicate spoken word, soothing but imbued with purpose, soft but commanding. I think that's a perfect explanation of her.
And that's the other thing, like the soft but commanding thing. I like that quote. She doesn't have to be like to like get her point across.
Yeah.
And I feel like if we want to get deep here, maybe I'll say something profound. Like that's, feminism, because so many women who are like actual real feminists like raise your voices, but nobody's screaming. Yeah. It's like you don't have to scream to get your point across, and if nobody's listening to you, that's their fault.
If you scream, people aren't going to listen to you.
Right.
Because
which is
they're
stupid.
Going to call you a radical feminist. They're going to be like, oh, she's being psychotic, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. But if you calmly say to someone, this is fucked up, you're being misogynistic.
They still probably won't listen to you, but like
they might listen your
chances of being taken seriously are going to be a little bit higher. And I'm not saying like don't yell, like absolutely yell, raise your voice, yes, do those things, but it just sucks because we live in a society where if you aren't like the most eloquent person, then like you just don't know what you're talking about, which is stupid. But you know what? That's okay. You know what? Because we are eloquent. And so is NoName, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, she's doing a lot, I think.
She's doing big things.
And so I said that Blaxploitation was my favorite, and I think part of it is because it is the most aggressive song on the album, even though it's only 2 minutes and 13 seconds.
Yeah.
Because at the end with the guy, he's like, I'm going to end up dead because of white people that don't respect us, basically. Yeah. To paraphrase.
Short, sweet, and to the point.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's just...
And if that bothers you, then you're part of the problem. So we don't need to go down that rabbit hole.
On the podcast? I don't know. I said, am I allowed to flip people off on the podcast? Because I just did.
I mean...
Do you like Montego Bay?
Which one is that?
Montego Bay.
Yes, I do. I do like that one.
Yeah. I think partially because I have like a lot of love for Raven Lene, which is the featured artist on the track.
I was like, which song? I'm the worst. Yeah. Yes, I do like that one. Good one.
Oh, it's a really good one. And if you want to dissect the lyrics on that one too, it's really fun. It's a good song. But I don't need to dissect every fucking song on this album, on this podcast, or else it'll be an hour long.
Yeah.
So.
And also, well, Taylor did some big things on this episode, and then there was me over here like,
That's okay.
There's a piece of my hair right here. Hold on. Ew.
So you have a couple of things that you don't love.
So part of me and with you, I didn't love. Ow! I keep like punching the mic. I don't know what my deal is today.
I straight up
you did
punched it before the podcast started.
It's okay. I hit myself in the nose with my straw earlier.
Yeah, you just shoved it right out.
I didn't want to say it. I did.
She basically picked her nose with her straw.
Shoved my straw. I was like tapping it on my nose, and I just went in the middle of Starbucks. We don't need to talk about it. Okay. So they were. It's not. The thing about this album is I don't want to critique it like too much because I don't really have a lot of critiques, and like that's not what I'm trying to do here, but. The spoken word part and the actual music part, there were some moments on this album where those two did not mesh well for me. And that's my own ears and what my own ears like, just saying no. That's not saying that it didn't actually work and it wasn't done correctly and well, because it was. I just personally did not particularly enjoy it. And part of me and With You were two of those songs because, like, the drums and the beat were super rhythmic, but she also was super rhythmic. And when you have two very differently rhythmic things trying to put together, I was like, for me personally, I need one of those to be consistent. And like, they weren't inconsistent as in like they were messing up. They just were like really like
almost
percussive and like, yeah, it just like wasn't meshing super well for my enjoyment. But like the words and everything, fine, that they were great. And like I see what they were trying to do, but it was just like, it was like sensory overload for me.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I feel like the really rhythmic drums, she didn't need it.
Yeah.
And like it took away from her words and what she was doing. And it's like, that's what I was listening to instead. Was like, I was focusing, I'm like, oh, that's like really like, and I didn't want to listen to that part. Not that it's not important, but it's like, I wanted to hear her words and what she had to say. So,
yeah. And I'll
really
admit that the first time I listened through this album, I was like, oh, I don't love it as much as I love Telephone. I mean, like, because the first time I listened to Telephone, I was like, oh my God, I need to listen to this girl more. Does she have more music? Of course, she didn't. But the more that I listened to it, the more I loved it, because I obviously was able to grab onto some of the lyrics and understand them. But at first listen, it is a little bit aggressive with the opposite, like opposing beats between her cadence of her rap and then also the music. Yeah. So what you're saying is completely valid, and
which I mean, like it works for what they were doing, like makes sense and like works. It's just I don't know, like I feel like that's just kind of like a personal. It's just like, you know, when it's like when you don't like a song and you're like, why don't you like it? You're like, I don't know, I just don't. It was just one of those things, like it just didn't work for me.
Yeah, the first two times I listened to the album, I didn't like Ace.
Yeah.
Because her and Smina's rap styles are pretty different, but they're both on the same album, or the same track. And the more I listen to it, the more I like it, because I love all three of those people. But
yeah, and I think those two songs, if I listened to them more, it would be like, oh, okay, well, you kind of like learn the song, and I think it would work more. But it's like, yeah, at first listen, it's like, I don't know the song, I'm trying to figure out the song, and I don't know what to listen to.
Yeah.
Because there's just like a lot happening, and I was just kind of like,
yeah.
And there, part of me and With You are, I think With You's right after Part of Me. I know that they're like really close.
Yeah,
together.
It's Part of Me and then With You.
Yeah, and I was just kind of like,
yeah.
But that's okay. I also, going back, I opened the album. Is somebody here?
I think Amelia's here.
Hey. The pumpkin. We named the pumpkin.
Amelia chose the name. Well, you guys all voted on it on our Instagram. I like that we're still holding hands.
It's okay.
You guys all voted. We had a 2-round poll thing on Instagram. His name is Prince Pumperdink.
Prince Pumperdink. God. Clint Prince Pumperdink. Maybe next we should make a poll on who gets to name the plant.
Yeah, Forest something.
Forest?
Because we said that this was the forest that they emerged from.
Oh, yeah, the forest.
Gump?
So, the Forest Gump. Yeah, let's just name it.
Okay.
Let's just do it now.
Forest Gump is where Clint and Prince Pumperdink emerged from.
Yeah.
So we were having a conversation about naming the pumpkin in Mafia, and Ben Lawton, one of the best professors here at Purdue, was like, I asked him, I said, what would you name a pumpkin? And he said, that's a question that I've thought about a lot. And I was like, okay.
Oh, Ben.
And he was like, what's the context? And I told him, and he was like, okay.
Yeah.
And Amelia and I were just like giggling.
Yeah.
And then we got a couple more suggestions, and then we had 4 name suggestions.
Yeah.
It was between Prince Pumperdink, Eastwood, because Clint Eastwood.
To Bart T. Shout out to Paul for Bart T. Emphasis on Bart. I don't know what that is, but like, I love Prince Pumperdink, but I was a little sad to Bart T. didn't get a little more traction than it did.
Yeah. And then Gordo, which was my personal suggestion.
Yeah.
Because pumpkins are gourds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
a little Lizzie McGuire throwback there.
I didn't suggest anything because I'm a piece of shit. It's okay. I named the ghost.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
No, I was what was I just gonna say? Oh, this is about Ben. I said, me and Chris were talking this, and I went, I love Ben Lawton. Mm-hmm. And somebody goes, what? Like, they pulled off an ear of the headphone and they went, "You love who?" And Chris goes, "Not Bin Laden, Bin Laden."
Yeah.
A professor. It's like our Italian professor.
Yeah.
He teaches like the movies, and but I thought that was kind of funny because they like freaked out. They're like,
well, and
like
the way
I'm
Chris
not
says it
insane.
is so fast that it almost sounds like Bin Laden or Bin Laden.
Yeah, he's like Bin Laden.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, at first, because I feel like I was one of like the last people in the major to like have him for the first time, and at first I was like, I kind of was the same thing. I was like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
Like, that's weird.
He is.
But yeah,
the best.
that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
So yeah, should we go into
chores?
Chores?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll let you announce who we're doing next week.
We are doing MGMT. They just released a new album called Little Dark Age. I don't know if it was just released. It's 2018. Mm-hmm. I don't know the exact date of it. It's new-ish. Little Dark Age, MGMT. I found, like, one of their songs came on my Discover Weekly, and then I was talking to Caroline. I was like, I'm trying to think of, like, who else to do, who's releasing new stuff. Because I've been totally, like, blanking on who to do.
Mm-hmm. That's why we've done, 3 rap albums?
Yeah. Yeah. Which, speaking of, we'll talk about it later. It doesn't matter. Okay. And she's like, MGMT just dropped a new album. And I was like, that's where that song came from. So, Little Dark Age is what we're doing next week.
Awesome.
If you don't know who MGMT is, then you're dumb. Because if you don't know Kids in Electric Field, then, like, who are you? But, yeah, that's who we're doing next week. So, come back for that, please.
Yeah.
And then we also have some other stuff that you can come back to whenever you want. And it's a Twitter, and it's an Instagram, and it's a Facebook, and it's a YouTube, and it's a SoundCloud, and it's an Anchor, and it's a Friday Faves playlist that's really big. So
yeah, at this point it's 160 songs.
yeah,
So.
Music Monday Cast. Yeah. Here it is. It's never changed. It's always the same. So follow us. Follow us, please.
It's always the same.
Yeah.
And no one told us where they listen, so that was a bummer.
You know
please
what?
do.
It's fine.
Tell us what you're listening.
We're like, hey guys, engage with us. And then like some people try to engage with us and we're like, oh, we see you. We're sorry. And God, we're just a mess. But no, like tell us, just tweet us. Tell us where you listen because
we'd like to know.
We'd like to know because we can only see who's listening on YouTube and Anchor.
Yep.
Specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess SoundCloud, but like nobody's really listening on SoundCloud. But yeah, if you guys like listening on Spotify, maybe we should make a poll. Be like, where do you listen? And people will click on it.
Yeah.
Instead of tweeting at us specifically.
I'll make a poll.
Yeah. But cool.
Oh, yeah.
This has been great.
That has been great.
I'm glad we didn't just be like, this album is good and also great. So, I mean, I kind of did that, but
it makes me sleepy.
It makes me sleepy. You're like, she's like political and she's moving mountains with her words, and I'm like, I'm tired. What's new?
All right. Well,
but, yeah, that's it.
have a musical Monday, you guys. Leah's gonna go take a nap. And
Yep.
we'll be back next week.
We'll be back next week. Bye. Say bye, Clint. Bye.